Well, good day, old chaps. Today we're heading to the coastal bend of Texas. And you may wonder why I'm speaking in this ridiculous accent. Well, that's because this is the Queen's proper English. What Queen, you ask? Well, of course, it's Queen Victoria! Tally-ho!
This episode was made for y'all with the help of our awesome partners. Check the caption for more info. We call this area the Coastal Bend because, well, it bends, see? And Victoria is right in the middle of it, in a section known as the Crossroads, as it's within 2 hours of Houston, Austin, San Antonio, and Corpus. And that makes for easy tripping.
Okay, before we get into this day trip, I gotta clear this up. This town is not named after Queen Victoria, but Guadalupe Victoria, who was the first president of the Free Republic of Mexico. He was elected in 1824, which also happens to be the year that this town was founded. This town is old.
Yes, when Victoria was founded, this was all Mexico. But this town's history is even older than the Six Flags of Texas. And to attempt to understand Victoria, we're headed on a trail built for hikers and history buffs alike.
So here's the first stop on Victoria's trail through time, highlighting important people and places in the history of Victoria. What do y'all say we do a little time travel ourselves?
My name is Brother Ignacio. I am a Franciscan monk from Spain who sailed here to Texas to found Mission Espiritu Santo. We witnessed to the Karankawas and the other native tribes, and then moved the mission up the road to Goliad. I'll go this way.
My name is Jose Maria Jesus Carvajal, and with the help of my amigo, Stephen F. Austin, I was able to lay out the plans for this beautiful city of Victoria. I refused to take arms against my native homeland of Mexico, and so after La Revolucion, I was kicked out, never to return again.
Ooh, wow. My name is Margaret Wright, but many call me the Mother of Texas. I cared for many men who had escaped the Goliad massacre. I was one tough mother. Hey.
Oh, my name is Jeremiah. I was here in 1840 when the Comanches attacked Victoria. They made a run back, but we caught them in Lockhart on Plum Creek. Well, not me, I was dead. I got a massive headache. Ow. Well, hello there. My name is Stanley. Steamboat. But back in the 1850s, I used to ride all up and down this river on lots of different steamboats. There was the Fritz Burner, the Lizzie Lake, the Victoria, the Tennessee, the William Penn. I could go on for days. Of course, this only lasted until the railroads came to town. Ruined everything for everybody. Okay.
Ha! Oh, it's me, Mario. I came to Texas with 1,200 of my closest friends from Italy and found a worker with the railroad. And let me tell you, we ate a lot of noodles when we did it. And so they call it the Macaroni Line. Ha!
And that's just a small glimpse into the characters of Victoria's past. To dive a little deeper, we're headed to Victoria College, home of the Museum of the Coastal Bend. And this is director Sue Prudhomme.
So here we try to tell our community about the 13,000 years of heritage in the Coastal Bend.
Wow.
All the way from the earliest people who were here, the French, the Spanish, and then early ranching.
Wow. Going back all the way to the Clovis people, and possibly before, folks have gravitated toward the Texas coast for millennia. The French, however, weren't so lucky, as they arrived via shipwreck, only to construct the doomed Fort St. Louis here in Victoria County.
Wow.
The Fort St. Louis site was the earliest French settlement in Texas.
But these are the real cannons.
These are the real cannons that the French would have used as defense against the Karankawa Indians.
This museum and its group of volunteers have turned up hundreds of real artifacts from both the French fort and the Spanish fort built years later on top of the old French ruins. And that fort was the first Presidio la Bahia.
Interesting. Yeah, this is very old world. I don't think of anything like this existing in Texas.
Yes, and it's a shame that it never got fully created.
And I see, so here's the Presidio, right across the creek would have been the Mission?
Correct. We haven't found the Mission in any of our excavations, and we don't know whether it was ever even really built.
Wow, a lost mission. That sounds like a job for like Indiana Jones or something. Well, that's got to be where the Ark of the Covenant is, though, right?
There might
Yeah.
be all sorts of treasures there.
The Knights Templar, Holy Grail.
The items at this museum are truly priceless. But beyond the cannons, there's a much older sort of weaponry that's caught my eye. Ever heard of an atlatl? Well, we're about to learn how to throw one at a mammoth. And this has been.
We have something to hunt, but I'm not so familiar with what you're going to throw at
Well,
it.
let me explain it a little bit here. This is the atlatl.
Okay.
This is a dart. So
Okay.
what the atlatl does is it acts as an extension of your arm, so it gives you more leverage. It's going to go a lot further with more velocity behind it, so if you actually hit the animal, you have a better chance of killing the animal. All the way back, like I said, one motion forward, and let's see what happens here.
Whoa! Well done.
You want to give it a shot?
Let's see if I would have actually eaten had I been born 12,000 years ago. Yeah! Like there was something there to kill. I know there was. So the thing moved.
Not bad, not bad.
So it's not as easy as it looks. But this is how Texas Indians hunted for thousands of years before the bow and arrow came around.
Oh!
Not bad.
I'm getting a little better.
Once you get the motion down, then you get the accuracy.
Okay. Ooh! You know, I couldn't have done perfect on the first time. I waited to get better. It's better for TV if I'm bad and then I get good.
Whatever you have to
So,
tell yourself.
Step back, watch this. I'll show you what I actually got. Oh, headshot! Drop the atlatl. Yes! Probably truthfully would have bounced off his skull. It just landed on the ground. It was concussive, at least.
So maybe I would have survived as a Clovis person. But luckily here in Victoria, we don't have to hunt our own food. And I got a lunch spot that's much tastier than mammoth meat. So let's bite into some history downtown at Facetti's Deli. Established in 1882, this is now the oldest deli in Texas, started by an Italian family who migrated here to work on the railroad.
Facetti's.
Facetti's.
And it's Italian, right?
It is. It's Italian all the way.
This is Teresa, the niece of founder Frank Napoleon Facsetti. I know a Texan Italian deli is a bit of an anomaly, but with so many Italians working on the local railroad, well, Frank saw an opportunity to give them a taste of home.
Then he just started selling sandwiches on all four corners.
Really? In a little cart?
A cart, or just handing them without even being wrapped.
Oh,
you know,
I
in the
see.
good old days.
So I guess, 1880s, this would have been catering to people on the railroad, ranchers,
Yes.
cowboys.
I know, anybody and everybody.
And since that time, Facetti's has been a Victorian institution in a building that feels as much like a German beer hall as it does an old Italian deli. And coincidentally, well, their signature plate has German roots too.
What is this?
This is the Dutch lunch,
How do you say it?
Kalterofschnitt.
Kalterofschnitt.
It's a German name.
Okay, Kalterofschnitt.
Oh, you're saying
Did I say it right?
good.
Kalterofschnitt. I think you're the first person who has complimented my pronunciation. Kalterofschnitt.
It's basically like a big German Lunchable. Fresh rye, fresh veggies, homemade coleslaw, and
Homemade hot beer mustard?
Yes.
Woo! That'll open up your sinuses, huh? Now you said go easy on this.
Unless you want to burn your mouth.
Oh,
Can you taste it?
of course. Oh, that'll light you up. That's good though. That's better than like Claritin or Zyrtec or anything, man. Just put this hot mustard in your sinuses. What all's in it?
Oh, several different things in it.
Okay, several different things.
Nice try.
You're not gonna tell. I'm trying.
Nice try.
many recipes around here are secret, including the soups.
I think I'm gonna order some of your grandma's soup and finish all of this
Okay,
up.
well, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes, all I need to complement my Dutch lunch is some LMA stew.
This is her homemade recipe. Dive into that. It's just kind of comforting, you know what I mean? I love this place because of its history. And you may come in and you expect a historic place to sell modern food, but that's not really what you get here. You get kind of like just simple, delicious sandwiches. Oh yeah, and lots of good spicy beer mustard.
We now interrupt this programming to remind you to like and subscribe. Now back to the road.
Today, Victoria has a bustling downtown of businesses. You know, being in the crossroads of Texas certainly has its economic benefits.
I mean, you think of Victoria being a small town, but it's not really. I mean, this is a city. There are so many pretty historic houses, and a lot of them are, you know, of course, very fitting, Victorian homes. Although technically, I guess any home in Victoria is a Victorian home, right?
That'd be a,
yeah, you guess?
That's a technicality, definitely.
Buy a nice double wide and sell it as a Victorian home.
It's true, technically.
Technically.
And in this city, you'll find plenty to do, like check out the ever-rotating exhibits at the Nave Museum. But for those who want to spend a little time outside, well, there's no better place in town than this.
All right, guys, welcome to Riverside Park, which is essentially Victoria's giant outdoor playground. And they got trails, a golf course, disc golf, and it's all right here along the Guadalupe River. You know, this is the kind of place I could spend a lot of time.
500 acres, 4 miles of river, and 1 zoo. And that, my friends, will be our first stop. Welcome to the Texas Zoo.
So this zoo was actually started like over 50 years ago when the mayor of Victoria was gifted a lion. Seriously, who gives away a lion as a gift?
Today, this zoo has much more than a single lion. In fact, it has 2.
Cool, look at that. Oh, cat fight, go. You could rip me to shreds, couldn't you? Yeah. I'd make not even a snack, a little brunch treat, hors d'oeuvres to tripper. We're going into the bird cage. Roseated spoonbill. They are pretty. Look at the shape of their beak. These are coastal birds, so that thing is like perfectly adapted for eating stuff in the wetlands. These guys could really do some damage to like a big bowl of cereal. I love it that small hometown zoos like this one still exist. Places where you can come and have a totally different experience than you have at the big city zoos.
And speaking of different experiences, because they don't have to focus so much on crowd control, this zoo can open things up to get a bit wild, especially on their wild side tours, which we're hopping on with zoologist Michael McGaw. First stop, Krista the tiger.
Come here, baby. House cats don't even do that. He just called a tiger over here. Come on, girl. Oh, wow.
Come here, baby girl.
Krista is a 400-pound Bengal tiger who loves meat as much as I do.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Oh, good girl.
Give her a piece. Keep your fingers on this
Keep
side.
the fingers on this side.
Right. There you go. Good girl, Krista.
Whoa. I just fed a Bengal tiger. I heard you call her over. Can you do that one more time?
Well, cat's chuff. That's a chuff. It actually comes from the throat, and it's actually something that they actually will only do with each other.
Easily the closest I've ever been to a tiger, and I'm not sure I want to get any closer.
But next up are a few animals we can get a little closer to.
Look at the lemurs.
It's these red-ruffed lemur. Ruffed lemurs, they have this around their heads. You can feed him. There you go. Now, one of the things that you'll notice with him is that he won't do this, okay? Because they don't normally do that. In the jungles where they live, they will grab a branch and they'll pull it over and they'll take the fruit off of it.
Oh, how funny.
There we go. Now you can give it to him.
That's it. That's it.
That's
all
the
right,
shot.
Michael, we'll see you later. This guy's going to come on the road with us.
Lemurs are from the Old World, specifically Madagascar. Next up, some New World primates from South America.
These are actually red-handed tamarins.
Look at his little face. He's like a little human. Whoa. Whoa. He's like, how am I going to do this? I'm going to hop off, but not too fast, and I'm going to grab the crazy. He knows where the food source is,
But
right?
see, they'll actually use their hands and fruit. So it's just one of the interesting things about lemurs.
That's amazing.
If you think these tamarins are cute, well, your head might explode with this next one.
This is JoJo.
What?
She is a 6-week-old female ocelot.
Wow. This might be the most beautiful cat out there.
I think so.
Yeah?
I do.
And these are native to Texas, right?
They are native to Texas. There are less than 60 left in the wild. They are highly endangered. We're part of the SSP breeding program that actually breeds them in captivity.
Okay, this is living proof right here that the
Yes,
breeding
she is.
program works. Oh, that is awesome. She's imprinting on me right now, so I have to take her with me?
Between the keepers and myself and my wife, I think you would be gang tackled.
Y'all are kind of attached, huh?
Just a little bit.
Holding an endangered species that's gonna help her whole species come back, you know?
Now just tap her between her shoulder blades and get her a little burp.
Do you really burp ocelot?
Yes.
All right, baby, back on the shoulder. You just burp the baby ocelot.
goodness. You know, I'm not even a cat person, and I'm smitten. I'm about to explode with the cuteness right now.
As you see, this ain't your average zoo, and that was awesome. But we aren't even close to being done with Riverside Park. I mentioned the disc golf, right? Well, I just happened to have brought my discs.
All right, let's go hit the course. Watch your head. All right, so there's like 21 holes out here, and it looks like there's a group of people on pretty much every hole, which is awesome. It means the folks in Victoria really love disc golf, which is cool, because I love disc golf too. All right, here's hole number 1 right up here.
For those that have never played, disc golf is much like regular golf. Each hole has a target par score, and players have different discs, just like golfers have different clubs.
I've got a few different drivers here. I got a distance driver, an ultra long range distance driver.
So can you go with like the pitching wedge on this one, or?
Maybe back in my pro days when I was on the circuit, I could go with the pitching wedge. I think I'm gonna have to pull out the ultra long range driver, okay? Stand back, man.
All right.
Stand back.
Oh, no!
I lost it.
No, it went sideways. It's hitting Todd.
Todd.
That's perhaps one of the worst drives I've ever had. We're gonna
mulligan.
Curve back that way. Not in the garbage can.
If you told me you were trying for the garbage can, I'd be impressed.
I'm a little rusty.
I'll find my groove here eventually.
You're just right over there.
At least I'm not immediately behind this tree.
Point is to make the disc into these baskets.
No, back toward the, all right, hey, I'll take that. I think I can nail that.
Oh, yeah.
Nailed it.
That's par, baby. Hole 2 coming up.
Hey, not bad for the first hole. And one of the best parts about disc golf is that after you buy the discs, it's free to play. No green fees, no cart rentals. I mean, this is the cheapest kind of golf.
Here we can finally tell that we're right on the Guadalupe River. That is awesome. Let's hope I don't put some of my discs in that river. Oh, wow. I hope the scouts saw that one. I'll be pulling up to the pros here pretty soon. That was awesome.
Oh, just a lip. No!
In the river.
Whew. Looks like I lucked out on that one.
This is pretty scenic, see?
That's not easy.
I only did this so that you guys could have a good shot.
All right.
Ah!
Oh, man.
The game goes on. You know, I'd like to think I'm getting a little better, so I think it's time for you to see the good stuff.
All right, so I think I've warmed up now. I think you guys can handle my trick shots.
Trick shots? What do you
All right, you see that hole way down there?
That's like 300 yards away.
This tree, that tree, nothing but chain. Y'all ready?
Okay. No.
Oh yeah.
No.
Bam! Next one. Through that tree, off the snow cone stand, through the basketball goal, around the tree, then back into the chain.
Oh, yeah! You see that?
I can't believe that.
All right, guys, just stand back and watch this one.
Ah! Oh!
No way.
I hope I didn't just destroy all your theories of physics with my wicked trick shots. You know, I told you I just needed to warm up. But one last thing to do in Riverside Park, because, well, you know me.
Okay, so I mentioned the Guadalupe River winds all the way around Riverside Park. There's actually a paddling trail down here. There's lots of really good fishing, and there's also spots to go swimming. So we're going to a beach known as Grover's Bend that the river kind of wraps 180 degrees around.
On a hot Saturday, this place will be packed. But it looks like we picked the right day and have the beach to ourselves. On a day trip, you give me a good river, a good story or two, some good food, I'm a happy man. Right now, that describes me perfectly. You know, Mama always said, make sure you wash up for dinner. And I think this river dunk counts, right? Because I can hear that dinner bell ringing as we head back into town for barbecue at Mumford's Place. Inside this joint, which has been named one of Texas's best, you'll find the sweet smell of barbecue and walls cluttered with generations of family photos, which is very fitting considering how owners and brothers Keith and Ricky Mumford learned how to cook Q.
But I've been doing this since we were 14, 15 years old, so
Really?
it's been a long time.
Who taught you at that point?
We have a family reunion we've had since 1904, and so my dad and them told us when we were youngsters, come over here and let me show you something. So they showed us something. So
So these are all the family secrets that you just started serving to all of us.
Yes, sir. From the family reunion to backyards to Mumford's Place Barbecue. So yeah.
Oh, now that's great.
Yeah.
You know, I've often held that family reunions have the best food, and Mumford's only proves it.
What's the secret to good barbecue, man?
Old-fashioned way to me. You
Yeah?
know, a lot of people use different machines and stuff. This is how they taught you as a kid. I don't use a lot of the temperature gauges or any of that. You kind of could. Uncle taught me how to feel, and
That's the temperature
that's the
gauge
temperature
right
gauge
here.
right there. Right.
Where do y'all do the cooking?
You want? Let's go to the back. I got some pits back there I'd like to show you.
Absolutely, lead the way.
And here at Mumford's, even the pits feel like part of the family.
This is Fat Boy. This is Manny, but that's Bow Wow.
Bow Wow?
That's Goliath. Behind us is Sonny. That's after my dad. I had a friend named JT that built that pit for me, so that's
JT.
That's JT back there. And JT also built Diablo.
Oh, that's a scary looking beast right there. So the fire's in the middle, and just the coals drop down.
Right.
So that makes it easier to put them down.
Put them down, right. We use mesquite and oak, those two combinations.
Really?
But that's a cold maker, because you're going direct heat. This is really real barbecue.
That's that
From the
old-fashioned style.
way, yeah.
So are different pits good for different things?
Yes. Yeah, these are brisket pits. This is all just briskets on here, yeah.
How long are these briskets gonna go?
About 8 hours.
Oh man, I'm starving. I think it's time to get some plates.
We can get us something to eat.
Would you eat with me?
I sure will. Definitely.
Awesome. Man, there's a big mound of meat right here, Ricky. You do not disappoint, my friend. Oh, son, that is delicious. Oh man, you want to talk about tender? That sweet sauce, almost like a sugar glaze on top of that meat.
You know, we never put any barbecue sauce on our meat as we're cooking. It's always you do it yourself. So like that.
Phenomenal. Oh no, I love it. I love it. I mean, but the seasoning and the way you're cooking it on those direct heat pits, it's not over smoked or anything. You know,
Right, exactly.
Your family's got the touch.
Like I said, that's a proud part of me is family, and the closeness that we are. I love that.
Well, this is the kind of barbecue whose legend will spread. I mean, it really is. It's phenomenal.
Thank you.
So well done.
Thank you.
With me.
I appreciate you coming by.
All right, guys, so it's time for the final stop of our Victoria episode. But guess what? It's also the final stop of our season. I can't believe it, but I figured to wrap this up, we need a place to kind of chill out and kick back. Do something a little different, right? So we're going moonshining.
Moonshine Drinkery, the vision of two Victoria-born entrepreneurs who moved away only to come back years later on a mission for historic renovation. This drinkery is now setting the tone for bringing new life to old buildings. They're also hoping to shed some new light on a historic beverage.
So I heard you guys may specialize in some moonshine stuff.
We have about like 11 different flavors though. Do you want to do something straight? Do you want to do like apple pie? We have original moonshine.
Really? Okay, see, I thought moonshine was just like the stuff that Kentucky guys made in their basement, right?
We'll get with the legal stuff. So we have a menu actually if you want to.
Yeah, let's take a look at that.
Moonshine Drinkery is the place to take in a little fiddling, do some relaxing with your friends, and sip on some peach tea moonshine.
Oh, that's good. That's really good.
Isn't it?
I think the crew's gonna need a few of these.
2, please.
Yep, all right, let's do a round.
What a day! Victoria is truly one of our great historic cities, where you can learn about history, but also participate in it, all the way to your stomach. But it's also the kind of place where you can make your own history, having experiences you'll talk about the rest of your life.
So I will see all y'all out on the road.
Bye con Dios, amigos.
Cheers, man. Well done. Good shoot. Good shoot. Good season, more importantly. I don't know. Who wants it?
And while I hated San Ana after La Revolucion, I refused to take arms. After, this was before I hated him. I hated him always. I still hate him. Back out of time.
Look at that beak. Oh, well, we just scared the poop out of him. Literally. We need to go. All right, guys, so I think I'm warmed up, and I think you might guys, whatever. All right, ready? I'll see you later. Bye, guys. I'm just gonna float the river. See you later, Kelly. Bye.
Howdy, y'all. Follow along with my adventures at Chet Tripper on Instagram and at The Day Tripper TV on Facebook and YouTube. Or head to thedaytripper.com for travel guides, past episodes, and info on our mobile app and Team Day Tripper.
This episode was made for y'all with the help of our awesome partners. Check the caption for more info. Howdy, y'all. Chet the Day Tripper here. Thanks so much for tripping with us. Remember, while you're here, like this video, subscribe to our channel so that we can stay out there on the road and keep on tripping. Did we miss anything in this town? Leave us a comment, let us know. We love finding out about new stops with all of your tips. And if you love Epic Texas Day Trips, remember to check our channel. We got a lot of them on there. Also, don't forget, if you want some sweet Day Tripper merch or another cool Texas-made product, come see us in Georgetown at the Day Tripper World Headquarters. You can also shop online if you check the link down there in the caption. All right, y'all. Bye con Dios, amigos.